Well, hello everyone. I don't normally do this, but I thought I would share with you my mother's famous cabbage rolls. We used to get these probably at least once a month, and it was my favorite memory of childhood is these cabbage rolls. So I thought I would give you the ingredients and share this video with you. I think that would be, well, that's the best way to honor my mother. She could cook. All right, so let's do this. So the ingredients, what do I do first? Well, let me show you this now. Inside this bowl here, you have to buy the big long thing of like 3 pounds of hamburger because I make pretty big cabbage rolls. And in here I have, let's see, a big squirt of ketchup, a little bit of salt, pepper, some soy sauce or Worcester sauce, is that what we call it? 2 eggs, some to help bind it, and you can use breadcrumbs or crackers, but I have, there's about 20 crackers in there. You can put a little more if you'd like, but I don't like it too pasty or too crackery. And any rice, balsamic rice is nice, or I cooked up some rice-a-roni without the spices because you want it plain. And after I cooked that up and boiled that up, I just cooled that down in a strainer. The strainer, and then I added the rice in here, and then you just put your hand in and you mix it up. It's actually a really neat feeling. And when that's all done, you just put that in the fridge or set that aside, and then you need to get some cabbage, a big cabbage, and make leaves. I usually make about a dozen of those, and then you rinse them good. And I got them in the strainer here, and I'll be wrapping this meat in the cabbage. Up top here, I have one of these roasting pans, and so I bring one of those down, and I spray all around it so it doesn't stick. And then I go to my fridge, and in the fridge is, you can use crushed tomatoes or actual real crushed tomatoes and real tomatoes, and we use that to go over each layer of cabbage rolls. You can put like usually 2 or 3 layers in those big turkey pans there, and then you preheat the oven while you're doing that, 350, and you cook for about, well, I usually cook it for 2 or 3 hours at 350. And then you pull it out, and it's all ready to eat. Yum, yum. All right, so I'm going to turn this around now. I'm back. So I'm going to put this all together. I'm going to set this up somewhere. I don't know where. I've never really done this before. Here we go. We're going to set this up right here, so I can talk to you while I'm building this. Okay. Here we go. So already got this, so now I'm going to grab my chair and pull that down as soon as I get my puppy out of the way. Up we go. Oh, that. Hope that I have the lid here. Oh, I don't. Okay, the lid's not here. That's not good. It's good to have a lid to this. Why? Of course I don't have it. Maybe it's somewhere else. I usually always rinse my pans to make sure there's no dust in them. I'm not sure where the lid is. That's unusual. And what I do is I usually clean up as I go. That way there's not a big cleanup or mess at the end. And yeah, here we go. So I've got that there, and I'll use cooking spray and just spray the pan, all on the bottom, on the sides, like so, shabba. Set that down, and she's ready to go. Okay. You always want to keep your hands nice and clean. Anyway, this is for me, I may do this once or twice a year. It took me over 20 years to actually even make these because, I don't know. Anyways, you always give everything a smell. Make sure nothing smells stale or whatever. You want to test your rice and taste it and make sure nothing tastes stale in your ingredients, you know. You want everything to be as fresh as possible, right? So anyways, what we do is, as I will show you, we will take one of these. Let me grab a plate. My mother used the sour cabbage because it was much easier to roll and it didn't break like this. But this all softens up when you put it in the oven anyway. So, and the pieces, nobody really cares about that once they start eating it. Okay, I'm just going to rinse my hands quick. So, anyways, you grab a handful, you know, like this, maybe a little less. You kind of roll it into a ball, like that, and you put it on at the end of your cabbage here, and then you just roll it, as best you can, like this. You roll it up, and then you place it in your pan, and then you do it again with the next one. Real simple, right? Grab another cabbage, grab another handful of this, into a bowl, shove it on the end here, roll it on both ends like you do like a wrap, fold it, squish it in there as best you can, like so, until it's like this, and you shove it in. Try to squish them all in as best you can here. Right, and if the cabbage is coming apart or whatever, then put it with the part that's sticking up, you know, down, so the weight of the hamburger holds it together, basically, and it'll all squish together once I get them all put in, and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. So, I want to put this on video because this is one of my famous dishes here that I want to pass on to future generations, right? I like taste. I think my mother put some onions in as well. I'm not a big onion person, but you can also add some onions on here if you so desire. So anyway, again, just like a big meatball. Just make it kind of round. I like smelling it, because you can smell the ketchup and the soy sauce. And roll it up again. Kind of make it into an oval, not really a circle. There's another one, and we'll put that on the side here. We'll just keep stuffing them in here until we got about a dozen. Okay, I'll carry on. Another piece of meat here. I hope I can find the lid. The lid, I always keep stuff together. I don't know what happened there. It's weird. Fold it up. You can use, there we go. I know it doesn't look so pretty, but it tastes great. I shove that here, like so, and this one's starting to come apart a bit, which isn't cool. So I just kind of tell them to behave themselves and squish them down in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. My family, it's all about good food. It's not about having everything looking perfect. Anyways, once it's done cooking, it all looks really good at the end. So I can't really give you a video of that until later, but I'll give you another video later for that. Okay. Not right now. I'll show you the end product when it's done. If I remember. Okay, next. Another cabbage. The hardest work I find in doing this is, well, all the different preparations. Getting the rice ready to go. I usually get the rice ready to go. Make sure I have the hamburger ready. And then the cabbage taken apart and rinsed. And I pull the meat out, and then I have it all together, and then I build my things. Now I've got itchy eye and hamburger hands. Okay, so here we go. It's real simple, but it's a family pleaser. There was nobody in my family that did not like fight. We would fight over these, literally fight over these. And we would eat them for like leftovers every day for like lunch and supper. My mother would make huge, way bigger batch than this, like 3 layers of the cabbage rolls. She'd do them like 3 layers. So you do a layer, it's kind of like lasagna. You do a layer, and then you put the tomato sauce or the sauce on one layer, and then you do the next layer, and then more sauce again, and then more on the top. And then you put a lid over it and put it in the oven. But I can't find my lid, so I might have to use tin foil. Just too funny. Tin foil. Woman's best friend. Tin foil. I see. So you just wrap another one here, shove it in. There we go. Okay. Now I'm gonna do 5, 6, 7, 8. There's only 8 there. That's not a lot, is it? I should got a lot more hamburger here. So if you have any leftover meat from this that too much, then you just make meatballs. I just roll them up into meatballs and put them in my toaster oven or the oven for like 40 minutes or whatever. It's great with spaghetti, or sometimes I'll just have meatballs on the side of my plate with rice. So good. Or on top of my rice or potatoes or whatever. And you never really waste anything, and it's actually quite tasty, I think. Call me crazy. Okay, so usually I can fit quite a few in these in here. So you basically, like a puzzle, the cabbage stays in there pretty still, and the way you want it. You kind of bend it in there and bend it a bit, and then as you put it together, like, it kind of squishes it all together, so it stays in that kind of position when it cooks. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Right. So these are more little pieces now. So now what I do is kind of like a puzzle too. I just kind of take one in there and then roll it, and then with another one, kind of making it long or whatever. You know, I want to make at least a dozen here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 there. This one's going to be a little smaller. There's not as much cabbage here. And then you just, same concept, right? You kind of roll it, and then you roll another one, like, around like that again. And you just, I don't know, shove it in. Shove it in there, shove it on top. Hope that it stays. If it doesn't, then you can always cry later. I think, right? Cry later. Okay. I'm just trying to get a few of these in here, because now I didn't get a really good piece of cabbage here. I've got leftover meat, so I'm going to be making meatballs. It's okay. We've got one more. Roll it up. Yeah. Roll it in, roll it up, roll it out. Just like that. Doesn't have to be fancy. Shove it in there. And when I wash my hands, I'll give you a look at this. I'll let you look at this and show you what I do next. Okay? Get out of my way, Dad. Out of my way, doggy. Doggy, doggy. Always under my feet. Always thinking that there's food for them. I also, when I was in high school, I made, I got it put in a magazine for a magazine contest. when I was in high school, we got to enter it for bacon wrapped hamburgers with pineapple on top. Try that sometime. You make the patties, then you wrap the bacon around the outer edge of it, and then you put some pineapples on top, and then you roast it in the oven. A little bit of pepper. So good. And then you can have that in a sandwich or on the side with rice or potatoes. But I'll do that another time. Anyway, this one's falling apart on me, which I'm not real happy about. You're being a bad little cabbage roll. Okay, so this is what's left over, and I'm going to make some meatballs. Just wrap them up into little balls, whatever size you want. Shove it in your toaster oven or oven for like 40 minutes. It's really cool. You waste nothing. I'll put it in the fridge for now. And I'll do that a little later. Okay, so here's what we got here. We've got all these cabbage rolls all lined up like that. That doesn't look so fancy, hey, right now, but you get the gist of it. And then what we do is move this out of the way. Now we put some of this, I got this crushed tomatoes. You can put tomato soup with some water. You can put some tomato soup in there if you want to, or crushed tomatoes, or my mother would actually use whole tomatoes, and she would put that in as well. So you get like whole pieces of tomatoes. You could chop them up a bit, or you can get like the chopped ones, but you know, with all of that liquid and the seeds and the and she'd shove that in there too, kind of like a soup, and it all blends into the cabbage and the meat when you cook it in the oven. So it's really cool. Anyway, yeah, let's get this on and I'll show you how that goes. I smell everything. I rinse everything, smell everything, and then just basically you just pour this over top. Like, I'll show you in a minute. And you just kind of do that. There we go. I'll probably have to add some water to make it more liquidy. Yeah. And you just stretch that around there somehow. I don't know if I have enough sauce. I was worried about that because I had to use some tomato sauce for like something else yesterday. I made something, lasagna, lasagna, and I need a little more sauce, so I used a little bit of the sauce when I shouldn't have. Anyways, it's not quite enough. It can be watered down a bit, so I would just take this can and put water and just go around like this and rinse all of that and fill it maybe half full and then pour that on top. Just do it. Stir that up, like so. Then we don't waste any tomato stuff, right? You just make it into a water paste and pour it all in. There we go. And mix that with this tomato goop, whatever you want to call it. Sylvester, no. Hey, get down. Get down. Mommy's trying to make some. Get down. Mommy's trying to make some cabbage rolls. I'm a very, very curious kitten. Okay, so I'm going to need one of these things here to pull out this. So I got some tomato on the bottom here that wouldn't come out. And because I don't want to waste anything today, I'm going to try and get it out that way if I can. So, best way is to use one of these flat things here just to kind of spread it out, the tomato stuff. Whatever it is. Also, if you feel obliged, add some ketchup on top of here too. anything tomatoey adds flavor. My mother, well, I was raised in the 70s, and so 70s and 80s, so you know, what our mothers would do back in those days would, whatever was in the fridge, you use whatever was in the fridge, you know, basically. So if you had ketchup for flavor, well, you use ketchup. You know, if you had like spaghetti sauce would be great in here as well. You could use spaghetti sauce in here for the cabbage rolls. You could use tomato soup, a can of fresh tomatoes. You could slice your own tomatoes fresh and add those in here as well. Anything tomatoey, so good. So I'm going to show you, oh, what was I going to do? I was going to do something. What? Let me think for a minute. I was going to do something. I had an idea. Oh, I was going to put just a stretch of ketchup in there. More ketchup. I use ketchup on everything. If you just take this and I just take it and give it a good squirt on top. Nice and tomatoey. There. Like so. And you just, look at that. See? And there it is. You make it as tomatoey as you want. You do it your own way. You can add some more pepper on top, which I like to do just for fun. Make it look fancy. You could probably add some parsley on the top, I imagine, if you really wanted to, but it's going in the oven, so here, you add pepper, put a lid on it, or tin foil, because I might have to use tin foil because I can't find my lid. Maybe it's put away. Then you cook it for 2 to 3 hours, because you want to cook the cabbage real good. And that's it. Then you're done. Then you eat. Enjoy. I hope you like my video.